Skawel, the Queen of Hours Tic-Tac, asserts that her power within the clock's treasures can exclusively reveal the dodgers, the Queen of Hours. Eskivine Butterfly, who was the 28th Queen of Muni, ascended the throne at the young age of 17 after inheriting the royal wand. Her coronation was notably marked by a catastrophic incident that led to Battercla Castle being completely reduced to ashes and obliterated the original ancient magic book. Without ever relinquishing his determination, he began the arduous task of composing a new spell book and ingeniously used a time loop to reconstruct the castle in just one day. Consequently, she firmly established her position as the Queen of the Hours, steering Miyuni into a renewed magical epoch. Justin, the unforeseen one, Justin, the boy of dreams, will be forever etched in our memories. Justin, though he doesn't reign, his sorrowful tale lives on. Justin Butterfly, the flamboyant son of Skybeam, lived his brief time as heir to the throne with overflowing arrogance and unmistakable style. His legacy, immortalized in the magical spellbook with photos and personal notes, was as chaotic as himself, losing the book in a stable by carelessness. Although he inherited the royal wand, his time as heir ended abruptly with the birth of his sister Solaria, following the matriarchal tradition of Nihum stripped of his destiny. Justin reinvented his path as a diplomat, forging key alliances with the Pony Hadi Lucitor families during the war on Myoman Monster. Despite his fall from the throne, the boy queen left an indelible mark, remembered as much for his centricity as for his ability to unite warring worlds. Solaria the monster carving with a castle taken, a powerful heroine, is born and stronger than steel to the void. At his feet he bows, and before his great strength and his temper, I want. Solaria Butterfly, the feared warrior queen of Muni, inherited the throne from her mother Eskivine, and became a symbol of strength and terror. His reign was marked by a fierce hatred of monsters, leading a brutal war that devastated the kingdom with dark spells. He transformed peasants into the unstoppable Solarian army, leaving a legacy of blood and steel. His cruelty was reflected in his writings, where he proclaimed that monsters were more useful dead than alive. However, behind his toughness was a suffocating love for his daughter Eclipsa, his only weakness. Solari met his end in an ambush, but his shadow lingers, leaving a kingdom fractured by violence and mistrust. Her name is remembered with fear and admiration, as that of a queen whose fierce temple defied even the void. Eclipses, the Queen of Darkness, Eclipses Queen of Muni. With a Naaman king she married, but her heart was a monster, and with Eleos of Muni she fled. Eclipse Butterfly, known as the Queen of Darkness, defied the rules of Muni with an indomitable spirit and a heart torn between duty and love. Daughter of Solaria, she inherited the throne and the royal wand, but her reign sparked controversy when she abandoned her husband. Arranged the prince until Ka for his true love, the monster Glucor with Glucor had his daughter Meteora, a symbol of their forbidden union. This act of love led her to be crystallized by the magical High Commission, separating her from her family by signs. Despite his captivity, Eclipsa never gave in to hatred or liberated bitterness. Years later, he fought to reunite with Glopor and Meteora, facing the prejudice of his people. Although his study of dark magic and his relationship with monsters divided opinion, his legacy is one of courage and empathy. Eclipsa challenged the established order by seeking a path to peace in a world that feared and rejected it. Festivia the Funny, when the monstrous threat finds us at a dead end, will bring joy to Mahuni. Festivia the Funny One. Festive Butterfly, the festive queen, was a peasant turned monarch after being adopted by the magical High Commission to replace Meteora. Daughter of Eclipsa and Glocor. Raised in the luxury of Castle Butterfly and fed lies about her origins, she grew up believing her parents had been victims of the monsters. With a cheerful spirit and a wit to keep morale high, Festivi threw endless parties, distracting me from one and the wars fought beyond the walls. Although ignorant of the political conflicts of her time, her ability to unite her people through happiness made her beloved by all. Married to the prince of the Masti Mountains, Festivia consolidated her legacy through her daughters Direnia and Crescenta. Despite being under the shadow of the manipulation of the High Commission, Festivia is remembered as the queen who brought joy and hope in a dark age. Direnia the grocery was born already wrapped in problems of impregnated sadness, tracing spheres on the walls. This is Direnia la Colmada. Direnia Butterfly, the eldest daughter of the festive queen, was a princess marked by melancholy and disinterest in her royal legacy. While the kingdom waited for a leader, she spent her days writing dark poetry and drawing balls in the magical spellbook. Pretending to practice magic to appease her mother, she found solace in her friendship with Charles, a newman who shared her pessimistic view. Together they dreamed of escaping real responsibilities. This disdain for royalty led Festivia to name Crescenta as heir, stripping Darenia of her title. Without remorse, Diranin fled to the forest of certain death, Conchad looking for a simple life. Years later he returned to the castle to reside in the gardens, away from the pomp and expectations. Her legacy is that of a princess who chose authenticity over greatness, leaving a subtle but unforgettable mark. In the history of Muni she presents the longing, when her predecessor was not the right one, she presents longing, she took power with the help of Amlo, her adored friend the monsters of Muni was able to contain. Present Butterfly, Festivia's youngest daughter, ascended the throne after replacing her sister Darenia, standing out for her optimism and a tireless commitment to Meum. From a young age he showed an admirable work ethic, leading initiatives such as the Muni Future Leaders Club, Peasant Volunteers and the Castle Youth Guard. As queen she established order in Muni, often by authoritarian methods, imprisoning those who challenged her rules. During his reign he organized a system of government for monsters overseen by the butterflies, and crowned King Pseudo and Queen Pema several through elections. Supported by her friend and advisor Anole Calquado present, she governed with vision and discipline. Although he gave the royal wand to his daughter Rina, he continued to handle many royal responsibilities due to the disinterest of his successor. Her legacy is that of a diligent queen, whose quest for prosperity for Mumi left an indelible mark, though not exempt from criticism for her steady hand, Rina the Enigmatic. 7. They came before Rina, if the boy is stolen 4 more kingdoms to his dominion, then he will be destroyed. Trina Butterfly, the queen of riddles, dedicated her life to riddles and puzzles, relegating real responsibilities to the background. After inheriting the royal wand from his mother, Crescenta left much of the government in his hands while spending his days creating riddles with his childhood friend, Lady Losa. His legacy was marked by unusual decisions, such as instituting National Riddle Day celebrated on his birthday. Although she received little popular acceptance in her personal life, Trina resorted to magic to force and undo her marriage to John Rothley, second cousin of the Luciter family. This relationship ended tragically with his death, sparking a lasting conflict between the Butterfly and Luciter families. Despite her eccentric approach and controversial decisions, Trina left a peculiar mark on Muni history. Before his departure, he passed the royal wand and spell book to his daughter Selina, closing his chapter with an air of mystery that history has never fully deciphered. Selina, the shy one. What is behind the golden fan that the sweet hand holds? How many secrets of the cosmos does it hide? The very discreet Selina Butterfly, known as the Queen of the Paper Fan, lived marked by a shyness that defined both her character and her legacy. They avoided public appearances by hiding behind a paper fan that he had transformed with the royal wand to protect himself from scrutiny. Even in his confinement, his sensitivity was evident, even apologizing to inanimate objects through writing. Selina found a way to express herself by filling the spellbook with poems, songs and protective spells that reflected her deep understanding of power and introspection. Although little is known about his style of government, his legacy is imbued with creativity and delicacy. At the end of her reign, Selina passed the royal wand to her daughter Star, ensuring the continuity of the Butterfly dynasty. Although shy in life, she left an indelible mark, reminding everyone that power can reside in silence and creativity. Estrella, the cartoonist, cannot write, she does not know how to sing, the only thing she has is to know how to draw, sketch and sketch until dusk. Will he succeed in tracing what should be Butterfly Star? The queen artist was a quiet figure who found her greatest passion in art. He inherited the royal wand and throne from his mother Selina, but showed little interest in royal duties, preferring to fill his time drawing and exploring the corners of Muni. Although he did not stand out for major reforms, his reign brought stability in a period where the means had changed. With curiosity, Serena participated in iconic events such as the Flag Games, and documented through her drawings the stories she discovered, such as the fall of the family to Varios. In the Magic Book of Spells, he left his mark with illustrations, delegating the writing to Glossabic. Estrella married singer Adulce and their union gave rise to their daughter Comet. Although her legacy was not noisy, Estrella will always be remembered as a queen who ruled with simplicity and creativity, demonstrating that stability can also be an art. Comet Lachef. There was no magic in Mume greater than that of Comet and his prodigious cuisine, but she was defeated by Tofe, the lizard prince of the monstrous horde Comet Butterfly. The queen of banquets combined her love of cuisine with a pacifist vision, seeking to close the gap between memans and monsters. Before assuming the throne, he lived a life full of adventure. He traveled through dimensions, married and had his daughter Amante with chef Laszlo Marmalade, whom he divorced before his coronation. His reign began with a Das Act, a banquet in honor of Archduke Badbin, a monster in an effort to promote peace. However, their quest for unity met resistance from the High Commission and the more conservative Mina factions. Comer's tragic fate came when General Tope of the Archduke betrayed the peace treaty and murdered her. Her sacrifice left a legacy of courage and compassion, marking the beginning of her daughter Mon's reign in the hearts of her people. Comet is remembered as a queen who cooked for peace and gave her life for a dream of harmony. Mon Butterfly, the unmovable, the immortal monster will live tormented and evil by Mon's most terrible spell, the unmovable Mon Butterfly. The Queen of Caution assumed the throne after the tragic death of her mother at the hands of Tofe. Forced to mature quickly, she left her carefree youth behind to become a serious and protective leader, dedicated to the safety of Mu and her family. Known for her authoritarian and distant nature, Mon ruled firmly, but always demonstrated an unwavering love for her daughter, showing her understanding even in the darkest moments. Although marked by prejudices towards monsters and eclipse, her ability to reflect led her to reconsider her positions, although not without errors, such as leading a coup against Eclipse. Mon's legacy, defined by her spell that tormented Tofe, is that of a queen, whose strength and caution protected her kingdom, but whose heart learned to balance distrust and empathy. His story is a reminder that even the strongest leaders can evolve. B. The underrated was queen for 4 days, her only decision on the throne that would give everything away. Star Butterfly, the queen of the 4 days, is the embodiment of unbridled energy and youthful impulsivity. Raised in a sheltered environment, Star approaches life as a series of endless adventures, often prioritizing fun over responsibility. Her capricious behavior and reckless decisions frequently endanger those around her, leaving in her wake a mixture of chaos and confusion. From chewing his wand on nerves to kicking down doors when things don't go his way. Star acts like a spoiled teenager, frustrated at not being taken seriously, but still acting like the world revolves around her. His brief time on the throne was a reflection of his impulsive nature, giving away resources without thinking of the consequences. Despite its effects, Star has a kind heart and a genuine desire to do good. Though his growth is inconsistent, he struggles to balance his love of freedom and chaos with the need to mature, leaving a legacy. It was mostly well-intentioned destruction, although it also has a tinge of new beginnings. Meteora, the reborn from the ashes of chaos came Meteora, powerful and dark, 2 lives he lived and in both his temple endures. Meteora, Butterfly, daughter of Eclipse and Glowcore, lived 2 lives marked by tragedy and conflict. In her first attempt to claim the throne of Muni, she was defeated and turned into a baby, starting over under her mother's tutelage. Although apparently a normal baby, Meteora retained flashes of her past hostility, especially towards Marco Diaz, whom she bit and ridiculed, leaving mutilated dolls with her image. Their childish disdain slowly evolved into a curious relationship full of contradictions, a reflection of their internal complexity. As she grew up, Meteora proved to be both quirky and powerful. Combining a dark temperament with precocious intelligence, her legacy torn between villainy and the opportunity for redemption remains a reminder that even those born in the shadows can seek a new path under the light.